Remember the good old days where you could not like a video game without being accused of being a bad person? Nowadays, nothing goes to waste when it comes to trying to spin something for the sake of one's ideology. Oh, what's that? You don't like the same video game that I like? There has to be some deep-seated hateful reason as to why that is. Forbidden West, for example. It's not because the developers were totally okay with just riding the wave of the first game, not willing to take too many risks, resulting in the game getting a bit repetitive quicker than usual for people that played the first one, which to be fair does happen with sequels sometime. It's not because of the many valid reasons why people just didn't like the game, it's because you're a bigot. People are so kind nowadays, so fucking kind. So kind that they'll decide for you why you don't like something, and it usually boils down to A, you're a bigot, B, you're a sexist, or C, you're a racist. I've lost count how many times I've seen people blaming Aloy being a lesbian why people don't like the game. I didn't even know she was a lesbian. I didn't get around to finishing the second game, so maybe that reveal happened at the end of the game. But Aloy being a lesbian, that's news to me, and I wouldn't even have discovered that if it weren't for these weirdos getting super offended because I don't like the same video game they do. And maybe that's part of the point. Maybe that's why they'll take anything and twist it and turn it to fit certain talking points. Inject that narrative into as many things as possible, and eventually get to the point where we just get tired of hearing it so much that we just succumb to whatever the fuck they're preaching and wear whatever jacket they try to put on us just because we're exhausted. Because this bullshit is tiresome. Please don't ever let it discourage you from speaking your mind on how you feel about certain things or giving a review or whatever. We live in a day and age where people act like the world's going to end because we don't like the same things they do. And instead of just coming to terms that people have different tastes, they try to force you to like it using peer pressure and bully tactics by conjuring up these extremely absurd narratives. If you don't like this thing, it's a sign that you're a homophobe or whatever. And you have people out here that live for the division, they live for this fucking animosity, day-to-day confrontation, and toxicity. They'll like and retweet this bullshit, and the person that posts it takes it as validation. How anyone would spend so much time dwelling on the people that don't like the things that you like. Mind-boggling. Spend so much time thinking about it and talking about it. Like, who gives a fuck? Any reasonable, down-to-earth, level-headed person, any sensible motherfucker, is gonna look at a tweet like this and say to themselves, what a fucking lunatic. What an absolute maniac. And I just want to end with this. People aren't shitting all over Sweet Baby Inc. because we don't have anything better to do. It's because they foster and encourage this kind of behavior. At one point, we were like, you know what, we'll just tolerate it. Whatever. It is what it is. It's annoying, but whatever. We'll just tolerate it. And by it, I'm talking about being labeled all sorts of bad shit because they don't respect your right to have an opinion. But many of us are well beyond that point now. We've had enough. There's so much bullshit that has seeped into this amazing hobby that a lot of people are turned off by it, just walked away from it. And I'm so close to joining them. There's just so much noise that looms over the gaming industry that has nothing to do with video games and all to do with their shitty politics and ideology. And they've been using this space pretty effectively, actually, to shoehorn that motherfucker right in. I understand there's a lot of naive people out there, highly impressionable, fall for anything, stand for nothing type of cocksucker. And I'm hoping this video at least gets one of them to come to their senses and understand everything isn't that deep. You know, people just like different shit, and we don't always need a reason why we don't like something. There's not always some deep-seated, evil reasoning behind it.